limit. So we can write limit c tends to infinity a to c f of x dx. So this is the formula. So actually what we have done here, we have kept here c infinity, we have replaced the point infinity by c using the definition of limit. So this is the first statement. Next statement is, if f of x is continuous on minus infinity to b, then integration from minus infinity to b f of x dx is equal to limit c tends to minus infinity from c to b f of x dx. By the same way we can understand this topic here. Suppose this is xy coordinate system, and let this be a graph of function y is equal to f of x. Let this point b is somewhere here, and we know that in this direction there will be minus infinity. Again choose any point c in between minus infinity to b. Let c is somewhere here. Now we take the integration over this interval c to b. Thus integration from b to c, integration from c to b f of x dx. Now we extend this point c towards minus infinity using the concept of limit. So we will write limit c tends to minus infinity, and this is nothing but integration from minus infinity to b, because we have replaced now c by minus infinity. So this is equal to integration from minus infinity to b f of x dx. This is the formula. Next, if f of x is continuous on minus infinity to plus infinity, then integration from minus infinity to plus infinity f of x is equal to integration from minus infinity to plus a of f of x plus integration from a to infinity of small f of x dx. Here, as we discussed earlier, in the sum of two integration, in the first integration we can replace this minus infinity by some number c1, and in the second integration we can replace the plus infinity by some another number c2 using the definition of limit. Let us see this by figure. Try to understand. X axis, y axis. Suppose graph of the function is something like this. Y is equal to f of x. Suppose this point is towards minus infinity, and here towards plus infinity. Here the function f of x is continuous on minus infinity to plus infinity. Now we divide this minus infinity to plus infinity into two parts by taking any point inside this interval. Let us take any point here a between minus infinity to plus infinity. Suppose a is somewhere here. So now we have two intervals from minus infinity to a and then a to infinity. Now we take integration over both of these integration. Thus we have integration from minus infinity to a of f of x plus integration from a to infinity f of x dx, and this is same as integration from minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx. Here minus infinity can be replaced by some number using the concept of limit. For that we again take any number, say c1 nearer to infinity, and then using the concept of limit we can extend this point c1 towards minus infinity. Hence we can write here this is equal to limit c1 tends to minus infinity integration from c to a f of x dx. And for this integral also, if we choose any point c2 somewhere here, then applying the concept of limit, we can extend this point C2 towards infinity. Hence we have this integral can be written in this form: limit C2 to infinity integration from a to c f of x dx. Next is, if f of x is discontinuous at x is equal to c, where c belongs to closed interval ab, then integration from a to b f of x dx is equal to integration from a to c f of x dx plus integration from c to b f of x dx, and it is same as limit s1 tends to c integration from a to s1 f of x dx plus limit s2 tends to c from s2 to b f of x dx. Let us try to understand this by graph. Suppose function is defined over the interval a to b, and let this function be discontinuous at some point c here. Then the integration over this interval from a to b can be written as sum of two intervals from a to c and c to b. So this is same as integration from a to c f of x dx plus integration from c to b f of x dx. Now at the point c, function is discontinuous, so we cannot apply the fundamental theorem of integral calculus to evaluate this first integration. So here we will replace this number c by using the concept of limit. For that, let us take any point, say s1, very nearer to c, and then extending this point s1 towards c using the concept of limit. So this is same as limit s1 tends to c from a to s1 f of x dx plus, in the second integration also we can choose any point s2 here and then extending this point s2 towards c using the concept of limit. We can write limit s2 tends to c from s2 to b f of x dx. So this is the formula: integration from a to b f of x dx is equal to this when function is discontinuous somewhere inside the interval. Next is convergence of integral. An integral from a to b f of x dx is said to be convergent if it has unique finite value. Similarly, if the integral a to b f of x dx has no finite unique value, then it is said to be divergent. What it want to tell us? Let us try to understand by the examples. Suppose we have an integration from 1 to infinity x raised to minus 3 dx. Then we know that this is the first kind of improper integral because here upper limit is infinity. So we replace this infinity by choosing some number c and then extending this number c towards infinity. So we can write this is equal to limit c tends to infinity integration from 1 to c x raised to minus 3 dx. It is equal to limit c tends to infinity integration of x raised to minus 3 is x raised to minus 2 by minus 2. Lower limit is 1, upper limit is c, is equal to limit c tends to infinity. Putting c in place of x, we have 1 upon c square. Here minus 2 is here, minus lower limit is 1. Putting x by 1, we have minus x minus 1 raised to minus 2. So it is equal to minus 2 into 1 limit c tends to infinity 1 upon c square minus, actually this is nothing but 1. So if we apply c tends to infinity in this term, we have 1 upon c square is 0, and hence this is minus 2 into 0 minus 1. So this is nothing but 2. So answer of this integration from 1 to infinity x raised to minus 3 dx is a finite number 2. So it is a unique finite value, and hence we say that this integral is convergent. Next, let us take an example of a divergence of integral. If we take integration from 1 to infinity x square dx, then we know that this integration is of first kind of improper integral. So we can write this is equal to limit c tends to infinity integration from 1 to c x square dx. This is same as limit c tends to infinity integration of x square is x raised to 3 by 3. Lower limit is 1, upper limit is c. This is same as limit c tends to infinity. Applying c to this term, we have c cube by 3 minus 1, then it is 1 by 3. Now putting c is equal to infinity, we have infinity by 3 minus 1 by 3, which is infinite, which is not a finite value, not finite value. Thus this integral is known as divergent integral. So if we have an integration in which answer of integration is finite, then integral is known as convergent, and if integration has answer infinite, then it is known as divergent integral. Next, here we are given examples of first kind improper integrals. First example is test the convergence of integration from 1 to infinity 1 upon x raised to 2 dx. In the solution, integration from 1 to infinity 1 upon x square dx is, you see that here upper limit is infinity, so we will replace that infinity by choosing some number c and then extending this point c towards infinity. That means writing limit c tends to infinity integration from 1 to c 1 upon x square dx. Next step is equal to limit c tends to infinity integration of 1 upon x square is minus 1 by x, upper limit is c, lower limit is 1. Applying the upper limit, we have minus 1 by c, and applying the lower limit, it is plus 1. But when we apply limit c tends to infinity, then it will be 1 upon infinity plus 1, it is equal to 0 plus 1, it is equal to 1. So 1 is a finite unique value, so we can say that the given integral is convergent. Next example is, here you have shown the geometrical representation of this example integration from 1 to infinity 1 upon x square dx. Here the graph of y is equal to 1 upon x square is shown, as well as point x equal to 1 and point x equal to c is shown. Now you will apply the limit c tends to infinity, then the area covered by this graph will be unit number, that is here 1. So integral is convergent. Next example is, discuss the convergence of integration from minus infinity to 0 t into sin t. Solution, here integration from minus infinity to 0 t into sin t is equal to limit c tends to minus infinity integration from c to 0 t into sin t. Here lower limit is minus infinity, so we have replaced that number minus infinity by using the limit c tends to minus infinity. Next, integration of t sin t can be evaluated by integration by part, which is here t into minus cos t plus sine t, limit from 0 to c. Next step, let us try to understand this third step here. Here we have second step is limit c tends to minus infinity t into minus cos t plus sine t, and limit is from c to 0. Limit is from c to 0 is equal to limit c tends to minus infinity. Now we put 0 in place of t, then we have 0 plus sine 0 0. So for upper limit answer is 0, minus if you put lower limit then we have c into minus cos c plus sine c. Now we put c tends to infinity into this term, then this is same as minus infinity into cos of minus infinity minus plus sine of minus infinity. But cos of minus infinity and sine of minus infinity oscillates between two values, plus 1 and minus 1, because domain of sine and cos is from minus 1 to 1. So answer of this two term is in between close interval minus 1 to plus 1. So we cannot determine the actual value. So final answer is not finite unique number, not equal to finite unique number. Thus we can say that the integral is divergent. Next example is determine whether integration from minus infinity to plus infinity 1 upon 1 plus x square is converges. Solution: here integration from minus infinity to plus infinity 1 upon 1 plus x square can be rewritten as a sum of two integration, that is in the first term from minus infinity to a 1 upon 1 plus x square, and from a to infinity 1 upon 1 plus x square dx. Now in the first integration lower limit is minus infinity, so it is of first kind improper integral. So we replace this number minus infinity by